everyone. Brina Martinez here, and I am so excited for what's about to go down right now. I'm literally in the home of somebody that motivates me, inspires me, someone I have a tremendous respect for, and of course I'm talking about her like she's not here. But I just have to take a moment and just express how special this is. This is a woman who is a multiple business owner, okay? I mean, yes, we know that she's the Olympia fitness champion. You know, we know that she's got all the accolades, as you can see from all of this. But what I love most, and what I think you guys are going to love most, this is a fun fact that I personally hold, like, I just think it's the coolest thing, and I'm going to shout to the rooftops about it.
I want to know what it is.
Whitney Jones is the only Olympian to be a mom of 2.
Yes!
Like, that is freaking...
Only
Can we just give a shout out to all the
stage.
mamas out there, right?
You can be an Olympia champ and be a mom. I did it last year.
Yes.
It was the first ever.
That to me, when I saw that, I was like, I'm always impressive. I mean, I see all the crazy acrobatic stuff that she does. But, just looking at everything, I'm just like... Because as clients, as trainers, we hear all the time... Like, oh, I got kids, or oh, I'm in my late 30s, I'm my early 40s, it's too late for me, and you're just like, no. Let me just take all of that, rip it up, and throw it out because it no longer applies. So this is why I'm so excited to interview Whitney. A lot of these questions are my own questions, but also questions that whenever I'm at an event and they're just like, oh, that's so cool that you literally get to be next to Whitney Jones every day, and I'm like, I know. If you didn't know, obviously I'm originally from the Bay Area, and my husband and I literally made the move to Gilbert, Arizona, and a lot of it is because of this woman right here. So this is, somebody that is, I call her my modern day She-Ra, and she always is like, oh my God, why do you say that? But she's a real life superhero, and you guys are going to hear why throughout this interview. So thank you, Whitney, for agreeing to.
Holy monkey, that was quite the intro. I hope I can live up to this. Very, very good intro and these accolades. I'll do my best.
You will. And like I said, you've been such an amazing mentor and inspiration, to me and so many women out there. So I want to start this interview off with a very important question, as I think that most people want to know. What does it mean to you to be a champion?
Great question. I'd say to be a champion, it's not just, and I've actually had a few conversations since the Olympia, because that's the ultimate champion in our sport, right? So of course it's a huge honor, but for me, it's not that moment on stage. It's everything that you do from the moment you step off that stage. It's your character. It's how you represent the sport. It's how you care about others in the sport, and are you encouraging them to do the best that they can and help them in all their struggles to get to the pro level, to get to the Olympia stage. For me, the definition of a true champion is someone who takes that title, takes that role, and gives it back. That's what I love about it. Again, it's great to be on that stage and to win the title. But for me, it allowed a platform to share my story, to share my struggles, to share the point that I was the first mom ever to be an Olympia title holder. And even when they announced that, and I got chills even saying that.
I know.
But it was like, I didn't even realize it, and someone, one of the news agencies had mentioned it, and I was like, really? That seemed bizarre to me. And then they did the story on it, and so many females were like, wait, what? And I love that. The fact that just sharing that tidbit of information encouraged so many women to even get in the sport who'd never even tried it. Right. And I thought that was pretty cool. Because obviously I love this sport. I'm super passionate about it. I'm a coach. I love to help other athletes. So the best thing for me in being that champion is it allowed a platform to speak, to share my passion, to encourage and motivate others. It's not an easy sport. It's never been an easy journey for myself, for many others. But knowing that it's not easy helps people realize, okay, this is why it's hard. There's a goal at the end of the road that you're really searching for. and you just need encouragement along the way. So I love that. To me, a champion is everything that you do outside of the moment that you actually win.
And I love that too, because so many people will answer that, but it's like you can say all the right things, but the actions aren't behind it.
Sure.
And for those of you that are following Whitney Jones, you know this when you look at her account, because every year leading to Olympia, you always do like a little tidbit on every single fitness competitor, and you don't see anybody do that in any other division. And there's just this camaraderie. Mm-hmm. There's this sisterhood. There's these bonds. And even though you guys are going toe to toe, like there's hugs and there's love and just nothing but encouragement and support. And it makes me, like, when I see that, it's like, maybe I need to be an ambassador in my own division and do that too. Like, that's the type of environment you create. I mean, what made you want to start doing that?
Well, when I first got in this sport, a lot of people were like, oh, backstage, it's super catty, and people are going to steal your heels and your suit and your mate. And I'm like, what? Like, does this really happen?
Right.
And I was fortunate not to see a ton of that personally. However, I always heard stories. And then, I'd go backstage and, let's be honest, I'll talk to a wall. So, I don't care who you are. I'm like, hi, I'm Whitney. Let's talk. So, to me, I was like, nobody's talking and everyone's so serious and I can't stand being serious.
Right.
So I was like, well, let's have fun. So it was just kind of like more for me personally, because I'm like, I've worked so hard. We're here at the show. I want to have a good time. I know there's someone else who wants to have a good time.
Right.
I'm going to find them.
Right.
So that's where it was. Again, that was kind of more the amateur, and I think everyone was just real nervous. Mm-hmm. Well, once I got to the pro level, and of course in our fitness division, we're all kind of crazy and wild because this is the division we chose, so that's part of ingrained in our brain to be a little crazy. But we have tons of fun, and so it was perfect for me, and it was fitting, but also everyone has a journey to the stage in every division, in every sport, not even just our sport. But it's like no one really talks about it. And then once you do, you get to realize, oh my gosh, that person's going through such a hard time. Or, oh wow, this person is a mom and has kids. Or, gosh, this person is taking care of their sick relative. You start to learn about them outside of just the photos and the videos that you see on stage. And everyone's pretty freaking cool. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. There's most people, you get to know them, you give them a chance to talk, and you connect. Yeah. So I loved that. And then I just think, obviously the Olympia is the biggest show. So why not give an opportunity not to just say, hey, here's the list of names. I'm like, I'm going to share stories. And obviously I keep aside some of the real personal stuff. Yeah. But it's like, look, go follow them. This person this is their second Olympia, or this is, she's juggling 3 jobs. She's overcome an injury. I like to kind of cheer them on and tell everyone else, because they may not have Googled them or even knew who they were. And maybe I can help kind of introduce them and have our fan base grow for our division. But just, again, to encourage them. We're all pushing hard to get to that stage. So I love it. I love to find a fun photo. I kind of make my notes of all the little bullet points. So it's something that I love. And I'll be honest, when I started it, I was like, I hope I don't get in trouble for this. Just because, I don't know. I'm like, is this bad? Or, is someone going to think it has ill intention? I just want to be like, hey guys, here's everyone who's qualified for Olympia. So it's something that I love to do, just a tradition now. So
I look forward to it, and I think it's so cool, because you're right, everybody has a story. And the cool thing is, utilizing this platform, sharing that story, it allows other people to think, why not me? It allows other people to say, wow, like, we have similar backgrounds, and look what she's able to accomplish.
Totally.
So I love how selfless you are, and that's, again, one of the many things that I admire about you so much. So I want to ask some questions that I don't know. Okay. So that's what I'm excited for too. So how long have you been competing?
So let's see. I first did my first training session to compete 9 years ago. Okay. And then started competing only 8 years ago. Wow. I know. It's kind of crazy.
Wow.
To think that.
So you have to tell me, how did you and Coach Damien start working together?
So I started working with him. I had just had a baby, and relatives, friends, they had trained with him. He was a personal trainer, obviously. So I was just going in to kind of have some accountability for post-pregnancy weight loss. And then I didn't even know about this sport. Knew nothing about it. But then at the gym, it was like, oh, these chicks are fit. This is awesome. Because I used to do endurance events, like the triathlons and marathons. And it was just kind of boring. I got bored of it. But I liked having a goal. And so I was like, maybe I'll try that, whatever that is. And just try to, like, get in real good shape.
Okay.
So that's how it started. And truth be told, Damien had said, "You will never go pro. You will."
You got that. Get that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You
All
won't
right.
do well as a pro. Yeah. He tells a little bit different story, but that's the truth. And
on blast.
Exactly.
I love it.
But he's like, "Oh, I said that to just fire you up," which whatever.
Of course he did.
But
of course he did.
Either way, that is for me. I have 2 older brothers. I grew up trying to prove anyone wrong that said I couldn't do something. So I was like, oh yeah? Well, I don't know what this sport is, but
Right.
I'm going to do whatever you just said I couldn't do, and I will find a way. So that's kind of how we got started. And then obviously, long story short, we worked at the gym together.
Okay.
Then, of course, I at that point got to know him that way, and then ended up becoming business partners, opening up a gym, and
So
I know.
crazy. So did you have any gymnastic skills?
No.
Holy, I'm
I
just
know.
mind blown
Yeah.
by that. So that means like we can start learning
You
handstands
can
like right
start
now.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Yes, I know. It's funny because even fitness girls still to this day will ask, and like, with gymnastics, I have no gymnastics background. I'm like, neither do I. Wow. I did cheerleading in high school, and you had to have some tumbling, but truth be told, I learned some of my skills from my 2 older brothers because they never wanted me to hang out with them. And they're like, well, if you want to hang out with us, this is always during the summer, you've got to learn how to do an aerial. Whatever an aerial was. But we had my friend down the street who knew gymnastics. And so that's how we knew these terms. Or you got to do a back handspring or a back flip. So I would take my pool raft into the yard. And, of course, my parents were both working. My brothers were supposed to be watching me.
Of course.
And I would just try stuff until I would get it. And then once I landed a skill, they would have to let me hang out with them.
Wow.
So, I mean, not that it was good form or anything, but if I just didn't, eat it hard on the ground, they gave me a low credit. But that's my background. And then just, it's again, in high school, I did high school cheer, but it wasn't like we were on this ultra competitive team like they have now.
Yeah.
But it was like, hey, can you do a back handspring? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't tried it since I was a kid, but let's try it. And I'm a visual learner. So sometimes if I see it, I'll watch it a couple times and I imagine myself doing it. And then if I don't overthink it, I'll just try it. So, and then as I got older and started this, YouTube, hate to say it, but I'm like, that looks easy. And I try it and I'm like, that's not easy. And that's
pick up my
not
mouth.
smart. So yeah, but it's, I don't have any formal training on any of that. I know.
So this is mind blowing. The emoji just
Yeah.
That's what's happening because when I watched you at the Olympia and the Arnold and I see your skills, every once in a while in the gym I peek over, and I'm in awe. I mean, all your skills are basically self-taught.
Yeah.
And so that just begs the question, again, you haven't been doing this as long, but you were fearless.
Yes.
And just said, I'm going to just try it.
Right.
I'm just going to do it. Why not? Oh, you don't think I can? I'm going to do that.
Right.
And I think so many of us can relate to that. A lot of times people close the doors or say it's not possible or you'll never.
Yes.
And it just takes you to say, actually, I am and I will. And that just makes me want to go train right now. It's cool because I've always felt that way too. Oh, you're gonna say that I can't? Well, watch me.
Right.
I love that. And just knowing that because I feel like those skills are tough. Have you ever tried to do a handstand push-up?
Yeah.
It's hard, let alone walking on hands and then learning how to all your b-boy skills.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, it's not just having the skills, but having the passion and the charisma behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so much personality and confidence in your routine. Like, I would have thought you've been doing this your whole life.
Well, thanks. That's what I'm going for. Yeah, I haven't. But the thing is too, like, I loved it, and I would watch my routines, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not very good. So if I really want to do well, I need to learn stuff. I need to just keep practicing. And I tell all my athletes, because I coach a lot of fitness athletes now, and I'm like...
All over the world.
Yeah, which is what I love. But no joke, I'd say 90% of the skills that you see me perform on stage are because of fails. And I video my routines a lot, and so it's like I'll try a new skill that I'm not capable of doing, but I fail and fall out of it, and then it's like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. Let me clean that up and make it work.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Okay, so now that I'm finally just soaking all this in, because like I said, these are questions that I've personally wanted to know, and I know you guys want to know them too. If you could go back in time, knowing all that you know now, and what would you tell your prior self at the start of your career as a fitness competitor?
As a fitness athlete, I think the best advice I'd have is I didn't realize how important stretching, warming up, rolling, all of that was. And for a fitness athlete, what people don't get is it's hard to prep as you get leaner. Like, it's crazy because sometimes people are like, oh, I watched you guys' routines at the pro level and I was so expecting more. And I'm like, man, that's gonna be shot in the heart.
Ouch.
Yeah, but they're like, because I watch USA Gymnastics and they're like amazing, and I watch So You Think You Can Dance, and I'm like, trust me, those girls are all amazing.
Yeah.
Girls, guys, whatever. But what's different about our sport is when you start leaning down and you've got to have this physique, you've got to have this performance. It's hard. As you lose body fat, you have no cushion around your joints and your bones. Girls get a lot of injuries. Your energy, because you're obviously dieting to get ready for the stage. When you're doing these plyo push-ups and these jumps from 5-6 feet off the ground and you got to catch it, sometimes that doesn't always work out the way you want. So we're trying to compete at a level that, in any of these other sports, they're not trying to have that physique component. So it's very difficult. Now, as a new fitness athlete, I easily could have prevented a lot of injuries that I've personally had if I knew the importance of stretching properly, warming up, getting body work done, and really paying attention to the cues that your body tells you when you feel something tugging your hamstring. That's the best advice, because I feel like had I known that, I probably wouldn't have had as many injuries as I've had. And the more injuries you have, they just create more and more. So I would say that, and then the other bit of advice is, like I said in the beginning, I'm not a serious person, and I found early in my career there were aspects where I was so serious, and it was like, again, why am I focused so much on the placing? It's another thing I tell all my athletes, like, you have to have fun. You've got to enjoy it. Like, if you're not enjoying it, why are you doing it?
Right.
Nobody is forcing you to do this. You made a choice. So I kind of go back to that motto. You can say, I have to go to the gym. I have to diet. Or you can say, I get to. I get to, because this is ultimately your choice.
Your choice.
So when you're going to hit the stage, if you can feel like you've already won, then who cares how you place? Like, if you let the judges have all the validation of your hard work and your effort, then you're not going to enjoy this sport. This sport will eat you up, spit you out, and it's pointless because you're not putting your own self-worth and self-value into it. So I found myself in a few shows just being so serious and getting so worked up and so much pressure. And I'm like, I'm losing sight of the fun. And we only have a few minutes on stage. So why work for months and months and months if you're not even going to enjoy that, and you're going to be so stressed out and you're going to be so worried about the outcome? You're shooting yourself in the foot. So as soon as I actually just truly was like, I've done the work. It's show day. I'm going to have fun. I started actually doing well, and I started placing, because I put off all the pressure.
Yeah.
So it's easier said than done, especially for my amateur athletes.
Of course.
It's always hard. They've got to get a few shows under their belt before they realize, I am a nervous wreck backstage, and that's not very fun, and I don't even remember the actual day.
And it shows in your performance.
Yes. Yeah. And you want the judges to feel your energy and vibe off your good stuff. Yeah. So when you're walking out there and you're like, nervous.
Right.
It's going to show.
Totally.
You're not having fun. They're not having fun watching you, so change it.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope everybody plays that on repeat, because I think whether, I don't care what division you're in, I think we all get worked up.
Yes.
And a lot of times we hold ourselves back from really being able to perform.
Yep.
And it just makes sense when you change your mindset, change your perspective on it, and have fun.
Yes.
So, earlier we were talking about how if you were to go back in time, you would have talked to yourself about, stretching and recovery. And it's no secret that you, as most fitness competitors, as you talk to them, deal with a lot of injuries.
Yes.
And you, girlfriend, have had some that, would have stopped others in their tracks.
Yeah.
So I really want to dive into, how did you overcome your injuries? And what advice would you give to someone who is going through, an injury or some type of injury-related setback right now?
That's actually a question I get a lot now since my story's been shared, and I've had the opportunity to share it, because it's, for a lot of athletes, especially older, once you're in high school and college, like everyone's competing and doing sports. Well, sometimes that's your identity. And then that's why we get into this sport, which is awesome. But when you have an injury, it's almost like nobody knows what to do and how do you handle it, and you can get in this deep depression, especially if gym is your therapy, and that's where you go to refresh and kind of get out aggression, deal with a bad day, or to just lighten up and feel happy. When that's taken away, it's like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Injuries aren't easy. They're definitely not fun. But since I've had so many, maybe that's why I can speak on this with a lot of knowledge. But for me, I've always said, okay, there's got to be a light at the end of the tunnel with every bad experience. There's a silver lining that you have to find. It's not always easy, but there's a lesson in everything. And if you can try to look at it as going, okay, this is a lesson. For me, I always feel like this is God's way of saying, chill out. You're doing too much. You need to take a break, because when I'm injured, it's about the only time I really kind of chill. Yeah. So that's kind of something, and I have to chuckle and laugh and be like, all right, I got it. I get it.
Thanks.
Yes. Could we have had a little less injury that's not so dramatic? But it's just trying to find what you can do. So, for example, I had a neck injury, and that was probably, of all my injuries, not probably, it was by far the most severe, the most painful surgery, the hardest recovery, but my legs still worked, right? So obviously within reason, as soon as I could do stuff, I focused on walking. I focused on doing lower body exercises, just body weight, just to get the endorphins going. So I didn't use it as an excuse to completely stop everything. And that goes for people in the sport, goes for people who are just, maybe this isn't what they do, but they still love the gym. Find what you can do. It's not a death sentence. You still hopefully have other working body parts. Right. And then for me, I always would try to go, okay, well, shoot, it's a broken bone, or it's I tore my ACL, or it's neck surgery. I'm going to be better. So
it's temporary.
Quit having a pity party. Just get over it. Deal with this now. Try to stay positive, because, again, there are a lot of people out there dealing with way worse things, like, unfortunately, cancer or something that doesn't have a good outcome. Yeah. So this is an injury. Yeah. I'm hoping that I never have something to that degree, but this is like, all right, well, this is a setback, big deal. Same thing with my ACL when I tore my ACL. By that time, my upper body was almost completely healed from my neck surgery, so I focused on doing what I could with my upper body. And a lot of times, it was simple things, like post-ACL surgery, I was laid up, couldn't do anything. But I could ice 6 times a day. So guess what? I was going to make sure I iced 6 times a day, and that was my goal for the day. Yeah. So it was just setting mini goals. What can I do now? Versus focusing on what I can't do.
Yeah.
And, I've had a lot of high school and college athletes reach out to me after Generation Aaron 3 came out.
Yeah.
Just hearing the story. And they're like, I'm going through this now. Like, what advice do you have? And that's what I said. I'm like, you've got to focus day to day.
Yeah.
And what is your injury? It's a shoulder injury. Okay, so then why aren't you doing your football drills in the off season to work on your speed and agility?
Right.
You can do a lot without having to use your shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's a lot of common sense stuff.
Yeah.
But trying to have someone tell you to do it is different. Having a stranger may be easier, but it's just getting out of that self-pity party and going, well, what am I going to do about this? You can't change what happened. You can only control what you do with it. So trying to stay positive, and you're not always going to have those good days. You have a bad day and you do nothing all day. Fine. The day's over. What are you going to do tomorrow? So it's just trying to go, what is it I can learn and what can I work and improve on? If you like the gym, then focus on the body parts that work. If you're truly not able to do anything, focus on your mind. Our mind needs just as much work too, because trust me, you can get in that funk.
Yeah.
Or you can't. So sadly, again, like I said, my injuries haven't always been as positive, but with each time I've found I'm going to get over this and I'm going to overcome it and I'm going to come back better than ever. And that would be my goal with neck surgery. The moment I went into surgery that morning, everyone's like, your career is over. You are done. There's no way you can come back from this. And the doctor said, there's a 50-50 shot you will never have your arm back. Because my arm, by the time I went to surgery, just was not even functioning. Would not move from my body.
Yeah.
So I knew there was a 50-50 shot. I woke up from surgery and it was no movement again. But
there's still a chance.
There was still a chance. So I set my clock and it was 276 days out from the Arnold Classic. And I'm like, well, here's my goal. And so I already knew at that moment that was my next goal. And every day I did something in regards to getting to that stage. Whether it was looking up new skills I wanted to try when I could.
Yeah.
I did something every day that helped me stay positive and focused on my goal.
Preparation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Utilizing that downtime to do things that I sometimes don't have the time for when I'm in the thick of go, 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 go.
Gosh. Yeah. It just makes so much sense. But when you're in it,
Yes.
right, you're just
Yes.
like, I can't. But, take a step back, look at the situation, and figure out a new plan of attack.
Right. Absolutely. There's always a way. There was always a way. And it's the same thing with my routines. People are like, how did you do a routine when your arm was losing, it was atrophying, and you were losing function? Because I still competed.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I knew that I could get my brain to tell my right arm to work for 1 second. It wouldn't work for 2, but I could do skills and jumps and hops for 1 second, but then it would give out. So I figured out skills I could do that required 2 arms for 1 second.
Yeah.
And then everything else was a 1-arm skill. But it's like, think out of the box. What can you do? I wasn't paralyzed. I wasn't crippled, so I utilized other things to be creative and come up with a routine that entertained and still enjoyed the process and had fun.
Wow. So this year's Olympia, how many Olympias is this for you now?
So I've qualified for 7, but with the neck surgery, I was not able to compete that year. So this will be my actual 6th appearance.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most this Olympia?
Seeing all my girls. That's one of the biggest things. I just love that, like, at the athletes check-in. But Olympia is just nuts, guys. If you've never been, you roll into Vegas. Everything's at the Orleans Hotel. And it's like just the vibe and the energy is... I get choked.
I can't wait.
It is so much fun. And so that it's just like, God, there's so many things. I love that first step into the hotel. And this year it's going to be so crazy because, like, if you're the champion, your pictures on stuff.
Yes, you have the elevators. Like,
I know.
You see your face.
That's
like,
I'm like, oh.
I'm going to be, like, taking stories like that.
I know. And I don't know what photo they chose, but I've seen a few and I'm like, oh, is that the one that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but you're on an elevator and a poster.
Yes.
And everyone's going to see your face.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be weird. It's like, I want that. And then when it happens, I was like, oh, but maybe put something else there.
Right. Can I choose my picture?
Can I be looking goofy? That's way better. Last year was the first year that my boys actually got to come to Olympia because, it's during school and with us being so busy with all the different things we have going on and then the check-ins and meet the Olympians, I was like, they're not going to have fun if they have to just stay with me because I won't get to hang with them. So last year had family and friends come and they brought the boys, which was epic because they ended up winning and they were there. Oh. And gosh, that moment on stage winning was amazing. But getting off stage and having them run up to me and just hug me was like, it was the coolest thing ever. And so they were dying because they know what I do. They love what I do. They watch my routines. They help me choreograph my routines actually. So, but they've never seen it on a scale like the Olympia. Yeah. So they went and they're like, this is like, you're like a rock star on stage at a concert. And it is. It's this huge arena.
It's a huge stage.
Yes. So they're like, we're going like this year.
That's my mom.
I know.
It's so cool.
Yeah, so I could not have them come again. So they're coming. So now I'm looking forward to it even more just because no matter what, they think I'm amazing. So even if I place dead last, they're like, you're amazing.
They're like, my mom was on that stage. That's my mom. Like,
totally, yes. So I'm excited for that. There's lots that I'm excited for. I could go on for hours.
Right. Would you consider yourself a superstitious athlete or
100%?
You do, so okay. Do you have anything specific that you do the night before or like right before you step on stage? Like, give us the
Yes. Okay. So I've got a lot. Some I have to keep to myself because like nobody knows, and they're not like anything crazy, but they're just It's simple things like. Believe it or not, even, this is disgusting, but my shoes, I had the same pair of heels that I would wear every show, and they were just so ruined with tan and just breaking down. But I was like, I've done better and better each year, I can't get rid of them. They ended up breaking.
No!
But I got a new pair, and now they're considered my new lucky ones. Okay. But it's simple stuff like that I do. I make a playlist for every Olympia that I get ready to. It's the songs that I love. I have a different playlist that I listen to when I'm warming up and when I'm backstage, right before routine, right before prejudge. Music helps me be calm. It puts me in the right mindset because I can get really excited, but then that's not always smart. Right before you get on stage, you don't want your heart going. You got to be calm, cool, collected. So I have different playlists for different aspects of the weekend. I do this self-talk before I step on stage for prejudge and routine. And it kind of goes back to that fearless mentality. Me discovering years ago, like I would get nervous before I stepped on stage and I would just get inside my own head. And then I'm like, what the hell am I afraid of? Like, what am I scared of? I still will have the love of my boys and a job, and my friends are going to think, wow, you looked incredible on stage. So what truly am I afraid of? And one day I thought it out and said, there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm doing this to myself. So I have a different talk. Each prep is a little different. There's different things that resonate with me. Like whether it's the injury and what I've overcome. So I really self-reflect and go, just have a talk with myself about, you did it. You did everything you were supposed to do. You did everything you wanted to. Now it's time to go out there and shine. Now it's time to have fun. And then it's like when you're right on deck and you're right there, I start dancing. Doesn't matter if the song is just in my head or what, but I'm having a good time. And then when it's the time that they announce, it's like I can hear it and I take huge deep breath, relax, and go, be fearless. And I step, boom, boom, and I hit it. Yes.
Love it.
So those are kind of my more simple superstitious things. Yeah. I have certain like clothes and jewelry and like certain things that I have to wear. There's just little things I have to pack. I have to do my normal standard ritual so that everything was good. Now, I will say, I did have superstitions. If I didn't place well, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to change that a little bit.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to change the order of how I pack that stuff. Because that's going to totally affect the outcome.
Hey, whatever puts your mind at ease, right? Like,
right? Yes. Maybe I'm going to switch which earring goes. You never know. Yeah, so I have lots.
I love it. When you look at your entire career, what are you the most proud of?
I would say I'm most proud of the impact that I feel I've made on others. Having, being a coach, I get to hopefully share everything I've learned and save girls years of trial and error. Especially in fitness. I didn't have, so Damien's been my coach, but he doesn't know fitness. He doesn't choreograph routine. So there was so many years of trial and error and talking to the judges and figuring out what they wanted. Back then, it's like with YouTube for fitness routines, there was not a lot. So I was flying blind for a few years just trying to figure out, okay, well, these are the mandatories. I know the mandatories, but what kind of music do they like? What do you do? Costume. So I love that I can kind of save girls from spinning their wheels because this is a hard sport. And sometimes if you don't have the right guidance, you get frustrated and you're out.
Yeah.
And then just also being able to help athletes go, look, are you in this sport for the right reasons? And if you are, then let's make sure your mind is in the right mode that it needs to so that you're not disappointed, so that you're not selling yourself short and making yourself feel bad if you don't get the placing.
Yeah.
I'm most proud of, I feel like even though I've done really well in this sport, I never want to act like I'm better than anyone because I've always been totally just turned off when I see that in other sports.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're a Super Bowl MVP, and that's pretty amazing, I would say. But you don't have to act like you put on your pants just like everybody else. You brush your teeth. Like, at the end of the day, I walk down the street, nobody even knows what Olympia is. So who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be known as somebody who makes people feel good, who empowers them to achieve things that maybe they didn't think they were able to do, or give them that push to kind of work harder at something outside of this sport. Just, I'm most proud of being able to have a platform to really try to encourage others to seek out the dreams that maybe others have told them they couldn't do or that they felt they weren't able to do, because why not? If there's a goal and you want to do something, someone is going to do that. Why not you? Why not you? Why shouldn't it be you? May not happen in the time frame that you want. It may be a goal that's so outlandish that it's like, oh, it's going to take 5 years, and it might take 10. Who cares? Like, keep pushing, keep working, use every resource possible. Hopefully I can be that resource in whatever aspect for this sport to help people. And then on a bigger scale, obviously with mindset and overcoming obstacles and, in regards to just trying to help people be motivated in whatever they are trying to achieve, like public speaking and, just sharing my journeys and what I've learned about myself as I've kind of gone through this sport.
That's so cool. So now that, I have all this information, I'm like, not saying that I personally would go into the fitness division. At least we don't want to tell Dee that yet.
Hey, I know.
What advice would you give, though, to somebody who is looking to start and go into the fitness division and maybe doesn't have, like, a gymnastics background and, and has, like, none of those, like, skills? Like, how do you even start?
So it's a great question, because a lot of people see our division like, oh my gosh, you guys look like you're having so much fun.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's harder if you're an older adult, and you have no gymnastics, no dance background, and you're scared to death of the stage. That's really difficult. I say if you have one, and even if it's the desire to step on stage and that doesn't even freak you out, then you're good. Because you can learn stuff. Everyone has skills, whether they've just been untapped or not. And it may not be gymnastics. Again, you don't have to have gymnastics background.
Okay.
You don't have to have a dance background. There's a lot of stuff that you can learn at the very basic level. And the thing about fitness that's exciting is it's ever changing. You learn one skill and you're like, oh, now I want to learn that and I want to learn that. So that it's limitless. Your ideas and what you can accomplish is limitless. For the fitness division, we are all open books. I mean, we have Facebook pages, we have an Instagram page for motivation, to show skills, tutorials. All of us can, I mean, any of the pros you could reach out to, and I guarantee we would welcome you with open arms to give you tips. If you're truly trying to kind of get started, I would say find a coach who does fitness, just so they can lead you in the right direction. In regards to, for example, we have a lot of fitness athletes who may be with a coach who they don't do fitness, and they have them running routine 3 times a week for 2 hours and doing hours of cardio on top of that and eating nothing. And it's like, oh my gosh, that poor girl's never going to make it this stage.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in fitness, try to find a coach who understands fitness. But even outside of that, if you're just trying to get started on your own, reach out to us. I mean, anyone can message me and I will give you the links to our YouTube channel, Facebook. That's going to have a lot of information. NPC News Online. Check their page out. They've got plethora of information. We're always trying to encourage more fitness girls to get started, because it is a hard division. We have to do a lot more than some of the others, so people can get easily discouraged, and we don't want that. So I'd say reach out, first step, because we are more than happy to provide you with any type of information and answer your questions for sure.
That is so cool. So Whit, just to kind of wrap everything up, when you're finished, because we know you still got lots to do.
Yeah. Years. I'm so
you've
young.
You've got so much left in the tank. Like, what are you, like, what we talk, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years from now? Like, what is left for you to accomplish? What are you looking to do in the future? I always, like I said, I feel like you're already a legend, yet you are still going. You know what I mean? Like, it's just cool to watch. And so for me, I'm just like, what's Whitney Jones gonna do?
Yes.
What is she gonna do?
I don't know.
I feel like there's nothing that you can't do. Just because of your attitude, your fearless attitude. But I'm just curious as to, what's next for you, and what are some of the accomplishments that you want to hit?
Well, it's interesting because each year new opportunities have presented themselves. And I feel like it's just kind of keeping your eyes open, your ears open, and opportunities are always there. I find if I hear something and I kind of get like a butterfly in my stomach, I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. And then I attack it and I go for it. Because again, I'm like, why not? I have a show next year. So this year was the first year of the Whitney Jones Classic, NPC Whitney Jones Classic. It's changed. It's gotten much bigger. So next year that's going to be a big part of it, and obviously for years after. But then obviously with the businesses, I run multiple businesses right now. That keeps me busy. But all in all, I love this industry. So once I finally do hang up my heels from the sport, the biggest thing I want to do is help others experience all the crazy fun stuff I have.
Yeah.
Traveling the world, being on these prestigious stages, being an athlete that you go to these other countries and you get off the athlete bus and there's fans waiting for you and just in awe. Like, it's just the craziest, coolest things that I've experienced in my life that I'm like, how the heck did I get this lucky?
Yeah.
I want others to share that. So whether that's me being the coach, me being a mentor, me being involved at a higher level to help so many athletes in this industry experience all these fun things, because this sport is so fun.
It is.
And if you're in it for the right reasons, there's so much you can get out of it. You can learn so much about yourself.
Totally.
You can learn so many ways that you can help other people that you may not even realize are paying attention, or that you are motivating or having an impact. So everything that I do from here on out, I get fulfilled helping others. It has to do with being involved with others, helping others feel good about themselves. So no matter what I do, I know that is for me. That is my role. Everything that I do, I've just found my niche. I get so much joy and pure happiness by seeing others smile and playing a small role in that journey for them. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. You know, it's like so many things have happened in the last several years that I would have never, ever imagined.
Yeah.
But it's just, I keep an open mind. Any opportunities that come my way, I never just kibosh it right away. It's like, okay, learn more. And then if I get kind of that gut feeling, then I pursue it and pounce and make it everything I want it to be and just go. Yeah.
I love that. I really liked how, I believe it was last year when you held, I believe it was a sponsorship.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
I thought that was so cool to see how many people applied. And
I know.
To where you ended up taking more than one, right?
Yes. Yeah, and I'll be doing it again this year. Yes.
Hey.
So that's the first time I've announced it, but it's coming soon.
There you go. You heard it here first, guys. So just hearing your passion and, you know, it makes me so excited too, because I feel like I really resonated with a lot of things that you said, and I know you guys out there did as well. And so obviously if you're looking for a coach, this is the person you want to be with, right? You want to have a supportive coach, someone who's in your corner, someone who's been there and wants to help you avoid those potholes in the road so you can truly enjoy the experience. And I just love that about you, Whit. You really do practice what you preach. Every day you come in and whether it's, you know, a crazy training day, you know, or, you know, the diet, you know, it's getting dialed in because we're getting closer. You still have this incredibly refreshing outlook on life. Everyone that you come into contact with is just so much happier. So I am just so proud to be a part of your amazing company. And,
me too.
And just to be in your presence, you've been just, it's such an amazing mentor. If I could just be half of what you are, I know that I will have done my job. So thank you.
I think you're selling yourself short because you're pretty amazing already, and you're teaching me tons. So we're just gonna learn off each other, girl.
We're just gonna keep this going.
Yes,
We're gonna keep this going.
So coffee talks with Brina and Whitney every Monday.
Be there.
We'll have our own talk show soon.
Right. Well, I'm pretty sure our coach is going to be texting us and wondering why we're not in bed. So we unfortunately are gonna have to wrap this interview up. But thank you, Whitney, for your insight.
This was fun.
This was so cool, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys are still like wrapping your mind around everything that she said, as I am. But please don't hesitate to shoot this beautiful woman questions. Email her. She's on Instagram. She posts a lot of great information and funny stuff
and
too.
Crazy stuff.
She doesn't. You don't take yourself seriously. I love it, especially the post when you have to turn your music down when you're like you're parking. I'm like,
that
me
so
too.
Yes. Gotta concentrate. Turn the radio down. Now I can see better.
Yes. You see what I'm talking about? We freaking love you, Whit. Thank you.
Oh, thank